Welcome into the Cozy's Ghost Adventures. Today I'm going to tell you a story. It's called The Lake of the Forgotten Depths. It's late in the evening, and the wind howls across the surface of Blackwater Lake, a dark, secluded body of water nested 20 miles from the nearest access road. The only way in and out is a narrow, winding trail through the dense, uncharted woods. Fishermen know to never, ever go too deep, at least not alone. On a crisp autumn evening, a seasoned fisherman named Stevie decided to prove the legends wrong. At least he thought. He had heard whispers of strange shit happening, but he did not believe in superstition. Not superstitious at all. His old boat, worn from years and years of use, it bobbed quietly on the water as he cast his line into the deep, murky waters. Hours passed with nothing but the sound of the occasional ripple in the water and the occasional call of a bird. Cuckoo! The wind picked up and the sky darkened at this point. It wasn't unusual for the lake to get eerie at nighttime and be foggy, but Steve had fished here many times, even during late hours, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and nothing ever unsettled him before. But tonight, something was much different. As Steve pulled in his line to check his bait, he noticed water seemed unnaturally still. No movement. No life at all. It was like the lake had swallowed everything in its depths. He shivered, but pushed the unease aside. That's when he felt it. Something was tugging at his boat. Something really big. Something large. He grabbed his paddle to steady himself. Then a low rumble echoed beneath his vessel. The water beneath him began to churn violently, waves breaking against the sides of the boat as if something immense was moving underneath. It was then that Steve heard it. A guttural, bone-chilling sound, like a roar that seemed to vibrate from the very bowels of the lake. His heart pounded in his chest as he looked around. But all that he saw was the oppressive dark of the water below, the trees surrounding the shore like sentinels that were very silent. And then from the depths, and then from the depths, it arose. A grotesque serpentine shake broke through the water, twisting and undulating with a sickening grace. Its scales glistened like oily black stone, reflecting the dim light of the moon. It had eyes that were massive, glowing, and yellow, that locked onto Stevie, our friend Stevie. Hollow and ancient, its mouth opened, revealing rows of jagged teeth that glistened like knives. Steve's breath caught in his throat as the creature's monstrous form towered above his tiny little baby-ass boat. It was unlike anything he'd ever seen or imagined. Its body was adorned with spiny ridges, sharp, jagged fins running along its back, and a tail that whipped violently through the water, like a powerful sea serpent that it was. Paralyzed with terror at this point, Steve reached for his engine, but it sputtered and died. Stuck in the heart of the lake, alone with the thing that had risen from its depths. The creature's roar shook the air, and in the moment, Steve knew he was not alone. The legends were true. The lake had a guardian, a thing that fed off of the fear of those who dared to venture too far, especially if you go alone. Did you not hear me say that the first time? It dragged down those who were reckless enough to challenge its domain. Steve's scream was swallowed by the vast empty lake as the monster's immense form disappeared back into the water at this point, leaving only the sound of the wind, the soft lapping of the waves behind. Unfortunately, no one ever saw Stevie again. The next day, though, his boat was found drifting in the middle of the lake, empty and undisturbed. His gear was still on board. His fishing line remained tightly wound around the reel, his hook now missing, lost to the depths below. To this day, no one dares to venture out past mile marker 555432 on Blackwater Lake. And those who do, well, they say the waters will claim you. Eventually, just as it did to Stevie. In the lake, a monster in the form of its depths waits patiently for the next fool to test the boundaries of its ancient, forgotten waters. There goes the haunted printer, right as I end this story. The end. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want more videos like this, comment down below. We'll see you guys on the next big one. Booyah.